Hello and welcome to this 2v2 on Adaptive Creator between Espeperant and Box on the top left hand side versus Harzer and Shinobu or Yudi on the bottom right hand side. The first thing to notice is that both teams have a very good player and then a less good player. So it will be interesting to see just how they try and figure out how to do this. Esperanto is in the back and Shinobu is too. So presumably the back players are going to try some airplay maybe? Well, the front player is going to do more land-based stuff. It is a big map, so I'd imagine both players would do some land. I wouldn't expect to see a dedicated air player, but we'll just have to see how they play it out. They might try and play it out differently. A few things about this map is that, well, it has a color scheme of purple and gray, which is a thing. No greenery here. This land has been plagued by war, and that is why it looks like radioactive. Whatever this is, it's not healthy. Don't step on the pink stuff. It's lava. But what there is there is a lot of mass on this map. There's a lot of mass, a lot of reclaim. Some mixes in some very weird situations with some mass here. So you either have to walk down this choke point or drop. There are actually a lot of drop locations, like this mountain, for example, where there is a mass point. So you have to put in the effort to drop all these different locations to try and get the mass points. We also do have some structures here, this pool, that looks totally like a pool and nothing else, just a pool. So that's the map. Gray fades into the background, so maybe he's edging for an advantage, this box guy, or maybe he's just didn't think about it at all. We do have a raid coming up from Harzer on the right hand side with just one mech marine and a scout. Clearly going to look for a marine to try and pick up. We've got some air out on the map already. Already the drops are starting from Shinobu, so that's great. He's queued up his orders, so his transport will drop one engineer each time at each location. So that's a very efficient and easy way of doing it. Some safe mechs there, presumably they won't get bombed. There'll be some high effort to bomb them. Bombs hit walls like this all the time. It's very frustrating. And yeah, some airplay. The transport is getting intercepted, so this is a great pickup for Esperanto. Yudi decided to drop the engineers because their transport is doomed. So he got his engineers out, he got them forward, so not too much of a crisis there. But Harzer has a transport out too, which will also be threatened. So the top left-hand team has free reign to transport things where they want because all the air force is down in the bottom right-hand base. So both Box and Esperanto are doing airplay, and less so for the bottom right-hand side, but still, everyone's full interceptors. Is that kind of map. Drops are going to win this game to try and get the map control. There's so much mass on this map in terms of mass points and reclaim that you really have to get engineers everywhere fast. So not quite an airlock. The bottom team will win this, especially with more units coming out. It's reached a point where they've gone for AA turrets, so that's an investment. Hopefully we should see this almost immediately reclaimed because it serves its purpose and you want that mass into more useful things. Committing to an air turret at this stage in the game, it's kind of like accepting you've lost air. You need it, but you don't need it now. This can be better things. So that's some criticism for some players who are both much better than me. But there it is. You needed it, you don't need it anymore. Let it be something more important, something more useful, especially if you're mass stalling, as both of them are. Maybe they'll reclaim it soon. Maybe they got more important stuff to micro, which is possibly likely. So drops are happening all over the map. The transports fly past each other in a very casual and friendly fashion because engineers are really friendly. They are the friendly people in this world, engineers. They don't carry guns, they don't shoot people. It's everyone else you have to watch out for. So engineer versus engineer here, then they're going to have a deep and meaningful conversation about whose hole this is going to be. And you can see Esperanto is much more convincing in his arguments why he should have this hole than did Harzer. Harzer just ignored the argument, and for that reason he lost. Yes, that's how engineers discuss things. So a nice raid coming down from Shinobu in this little section here, which is good. The T1 fights are happening all over the map. The drops are happening all over the map too. So both players are really committed. The top left-hand team has gotten these mass points on the bottom left and bottom right, but they are going to be bombed. The hydrocarbon is up, the mass point is up, but not for much longer, I fear. Transports are dying over here. No, that was a lie. It's not dying. It's quite okay for now. But Box is moving forward with his commander, so he's going to get some advantage with using his commander aggressively. Harzer has his commander forward too. But Yudi has his commander in the base, decided to use him for the build power rather than combat potential, and as is Espeperant. On a map like this, it would obviously be better to have your commander forward, but the micro can be a burden if you try to micro air, and you can quite easily forget about him and die. So for that reason, it's often safest to keep him back, especially if you do want to go the T2 upgrade on him, which he is not electing to do, going T2 on the factory, which is probably the better choice. But yeah, so the value Shinobu is getting out of his commander at this point is basically 2 T1 engineers build power. It's not the best, but if you want to keep him there to keep him safe, that's fine. And Box is pushing forward, getting some PD to fall back on, which is good. And once his PD is built, maybe he'll move forward and shoot some units. It's always good to have a PD to fall back on in case you start getting overwhelmed. One PD like this has saved my life very, very many times in the past. So both players are doing land and both players are doing air, which I think is the right call. The map is kind of too big for one player to do all of the one. It kind of sounds weird, but just generally from my experience, it often feels better if you do it like this. You have your own air and you have your own land to control. The weakness of Satur's strategy is that it does allow your opponent to potentially get a T3 air quicker and sooner, and a rush T3 strap bomber can be devastating, but that's not what either of these players are electing to choose to do. We've got gunships now out for Espeperant, so they'll do some work, but it'll rapidly die to all these interceptors. Less rapidly than I expected, but still death has occurred. Oh, that's not what I want. The noises are a little bit loud. As always, need to be aware of where you're choosing to fight and where you put in the reclaim of your Rex and the enemy's Rex and who gets them. Mass is literally raining from the sky around Espeperant's comm, so he'll be grateful for that. Let's see if these turrets still exist. These turrets still exist, so that's fine. It's a small thing in the schemes of it. There are much better things to be worrying about. This transport deciding that it has better options to be productive. And Box is indeed pushing forward with his comm. He's got these units, they're up in these factories, they're shooting things, they're doing what they were built and designed to do, fulfilling their purpose in life, which is more than most of us can say about our lives. Yeah, I'm just going to throw that in there. A gunship here, so there is some AA here. We've got some interceptors up here. But top left definitely seems to have the air advantage, so they can use their gunships, whereas Yudi would be brave to use his. No, that is a lie. He has swift ones. So I think now he has the advantage. How the twists and the turntables. It's quite interesting. Of all the mass points, these ones on this weird peninsula are almost seemingly the hardest to reclaim. I wonder why that is. It's because of this bomber and the work that he is doing. 13 kills. No, you're lying. 13 kills on this bomber. He's doing the Lord's work. Oof, we're going to have to keep an eye on him. He's nearly around the field. 3 vets on T1 bomber. That is something to behold. There is a push on Box. He's going to have to be worried and concerned about his life choices. Who's going to win this effort? I actually don't know. I have a very hard time judging just how effective swift wins are. So we're just going to see how this plays out. I very rarely use or fight against swift wins, but they seem to be carrying the day. No, that is another lie. So top has maintained air control over Box's comm. The gunships have decided that they can be more productive elsewhere, as indeed they can be. So going T2 on Box's comm, I think that's a good choice because of all the T2 requirements. He wants T2 PD, he wants flak, he wants a TML, I think here. A TML here would be fantastic work. Your air back, interesting, so they aren't in comms with each other, or they'll be yelling at each other rather than texting. So yes, Harzer's cover is actually quite far forward, especially if the bottom team doesn't have a lot of threat. And S-Snipe is potentially on the cards. So do we have an Aeon? We have one Aeon at the... Yudi is the only Aeon Shinobu. So I mentioned that because of the Mercy Snipe potential. It's real, but it's not something Harzer has to worry about because none of his opponents have those Mercies. They can... A moment of inattentiveness can mean you just die from a Mercy Snipe. And at this point, at 13 minutes, you can generally pump out a few Mercies pretty fast if you want to. And there's going T3 Air on Boxer's Air Factory. We've got T3 Air on Espeperant as well. So you could argue this is a bit inefficient. It might be better if one player went T3 Air first. It's unclear. Whereas Harzer is going T3 Air, while Yudi is sticking on T2 Air, going for more gunships. So I don't... Yeah, I think it would be better if Box was focusing on different things, because the investment into the T3 Air Factory is actually very expensive. And you don't need two of them at this point in the game. One will do fine, I think. And much better to have the investment in a air factory to actually be ASF, for example, which could have been produced in Espeperant's air factory. But that's communication. It's not clear if these guys are in comms or not. I just know this is quite a long game. So yeah, that's criticizing players who are much better than you, always dangerous territory. But here we are. Obsidians are very, very nice. They're nicely to tank. There's Oblivion turrets here. 3 Oblivion turrets are really bunkering down in this position. Boxer is going to have to consider his life choices. Go to a T2 PD. I think he has enough pillars to hold him off. So why is he building a T2 PD here? And I think it's because he wants to claim the wreck field. Ooh, a strap bomber is out. A strap bomber is out. And it is bombing a T2 max. So that's fine. It's getting another T2 max. That's fine too. So T1 interceptors are on the strap bomber. They can be enough to take it down. We've got swift ones on it too. 3 T2 maxes are going down. It won't achieve much more. So, was that worth it? I think he got 3 T2 maxes and mass storages. So yeah, I think that's worth it. 1, I think it's not worth it. 2, I think it's about break even maybe, because you do also get the wreck from the strap bomber. And I think 3 is good, but I think generally you're hoping to achieve more with the strap bomber, or at least I've seen singular strap bombers completely win games if your opponent is not prepared for it. But it was very effectively dispatched with T1 interceptors and swift ones. So it's nice to see swift ones being used. I very rarely see them used. And we've got ASF and T1 versus swift ones, so we'll have to see how this plays out. Yudi looking to try and do something here. Espeperant comes out in the open without much ground AA, so if Yudi goes in for the kill and wins the air battle, Esperanto could be in the world of hurt. He could die here. He could really die here, and I think he's going to die here. Surely. No, there's escaping on 1200 hit points. So yeah, the top team not caring about the swift ones. They were only focusing on killing the gunships, which is the right call, because it kept him in the game. That was very, very close for Espeperant. A T2 flak would have been the insurance for that situation, but very well done for staying alive. That was so close. A nice mass deposit, mass rain from the sky. Again, what is Box up to down here? Yep, he's... So yeah, I think that's what these PD here. I don't think he's particularly trying to push this with T2 PD. I think that might be a mistake. Building T2 turrets and range in Oblivion will not go well for you, but he is claiming the mass field. And that's always worth it. His comm is in a very precarious situation. Maybe if Yudi went for the kill on Box, he would have managed to achieve it rather than going for Espeperant, but obviously Espeperant. Espeperant. That's a fun name to say. Espeperant is definitely the target, being a much more highly played, much more highly rated player. A rude RT drop on these T2 maxes. A brave engineer trying to reclaim them. Is he going to persuade him with these arguments that they best go elsewhere? I don't think so. One of them is convinced, and now two, but not before the T2 PD goes down. Where on earth is he going? Oh, what on earth is he trying to achieve here? I think he's trying to hide so that these RT will go to the next hole, and then he can rebuild the mexes. But no, it's an optimistic goal, but it's not going to be achieved. So that's one very tiny skirmish happening on the map, but surely more important things are happening elsewhere. More units being dropped all over the map because that's where the reclaim sits. Espeperant is back in the back of his base because that's where life is safest. Gunships coming down to now clear it up. Okay, so I think he's just trying to keep the engineer alive long enough for his gunships to come in here and clear that up. So Box is actually looking in quite a vulnerable situation. He's not safe here. This is dangerous. He's got a lot of T2 PD. He's got TMD. I definitely think he wants a TML. The bottom team doesn't have TMD, so there are a lot of potential targets. If nothing else, it forces your opponent to build TMD, which can be a cost-effective opportunity. These Obsidians just eating Triad and Pillar Shells because they made the incorrect life choices. More air fights coming down. A new strap bomber taking things down, so playing more conservatively, just working at the edges rather than going in the main base. We'll hopefully see better value from this strap bomber than from before. The before strap bomber was quite bold, going really down the throat. I think they were hoping to achieve more, but sometimes you just got to get what you're going to get. So this is going to be the second T2 Max he's going to kill. And he gets it with some mass soldiers as well. Trying to clear the air for him, going for the main base. Third T2 Max coming down, taking a SAM hit. So not going to live long. So again, 3 T2 Maxes. Going for the main base, I think, was an error. There are quite a lot of T2 Maxes elsewhere on the map, like this cluster here he could have worked on, or flying back and forth, or I think they could have got better use from the strap bombers if they were playing them more conservatively. Again, here I am criticizing players who are obviously much better than me, but that's what we do here. That's what we do here. Some T1A over Harzer. Definitely vulnerable to an air snipe. As this box, both of these guys are very vulnerable to air snipes, but I don't think they're the target at all, and I think they know it. It's almost as if they don't want to kill them, but there is too much on this map to micro for one person, so I think killing either of these two front players would be really good. So more strap bombs coming out from box. One from box, one for Espeperant. I want to see them go for a calm kill. I think they could kill this calm. Oh, there's a shield now, so that's obviously less effective now, but before that shield was there, I think there was a real opportunity. Less so now because there are probably enough ASF to kill the strap bombers. So I wonder if they're coordinating with each other. It feels like they are. 2 mechs with 1 hit, that's good. No, that's quite poor coordination. So one, yeah, okay, so that's good. I think they've realized the error in their ways. What happened to the second strap bomber? Did it die? Yes, so just give it all the air to box because there was definitely a misplay because both of them were bombing the same mexes with the same strap bombers, and one of them just dropped a bomb on nothing. So this bomber is doing good. This is exactly what I suggested that I thought they should do, is focus on killing the outside mexes away from the SAMs where you can defend it, and this strap bomber is not doing some real work. I think the bottom team is going to struggle on the mass eco just because how much value is getting done by this strap bomber. So some real value here, taking some hits, and now's the time where you have to start thinking, do I want to take this bomber home to repair it? Not only do you get more value from the strap bomber, but it also obviously denies your enemy the wreck. And the wrecks of these strap bombers are big. They're like 1600 mass. So flying away, so the wreck is in an inconvenient location. So we'll see who gets it. It looks like the bottom team. I think it's too far away. Let's have a look at the eco situation. So Shinobu or Yudi ahead of his opposite Espeperant, and Box is well ahead of Harzer. So the bottom team appears to be strongly ahead in eco. That's interesting. So the bottom team invested more in their eco infrastructure, while the top team was invested more in strap bombers, and it seems like investing in the mechs at this point and countering the strap bombers was the winning strategy there, or other things being equal, as they obviously aren't. There's a lot of Zuis coming out of Espeperant at this point, am I? And T1 bombers now. So 5 T1 bombers can kill a T2 mech in one pass. I often find that's a fun way to deal with T2 mechs. And more cost effective than strap bomber, and often it works. Sometimes it doesn't, but it's a nice way to make sure to keep your opponents honest. We have yet another strap bomber coming out from Box to try and get some hits. Where's his target now? This mech's here, so the bomb will drop, but I don't think he's going to get more than one bomb off. It's also worth noting that they're clearly using this bomber as bait. So they're trying to get an advantageous air fight and basically forcing the enemy's air to come out and fight. Or they just keep losing mexes. So at this point, the bottom team is choosing to not fight air. Yudi is asking for the ASFs from his partner, so that we have dedicated air players now. Even though yellow and grey are building air, it appears they're giving them, or blue rather, to the prospective air players. That appears to be Box versus Shinobu. So Yudi, Shinobu, has the rated advantage, but Box appears to have more air here. But oh my goodness, this is going to make a very nice reclaim. Look at this tight turns. Wow. That's some good micro from both sides, and the top team convincingly won that air fight. So they're really in this game. Even if they are behind in eco, they are very, very much in this game. I'm sorry, bottom team won that air fight. So, no, top team. It confuses me that Gray's at the bottom. Is he top or bottom? He's both. He's versatile. That's not true. I don't know that even a little. Okay, so top team convincingly have the air lead, although the bottom team, I think, together have more eco. Box is the one who's really, the bottom team have convincingly have more eco. Oh my goodness, it's hard to add numbers together, especially when they jump around so much. Box appears to have the weakest eco, but they have a lot of air, but this air fight drops a lot of mass on the floor, and red and yellow are not hesitating to clean it up. It'll be interesting to see where they go next. A lot of options. It's a very even fight so far. The map is largely symmetrically taken, generally. So it's hard to see exactly where they can go for. There are very, very many options, and airstrike is probably less likely now because everyone's on hyper regard for it. But what are these strap bombers for if not for a snipe? We have more eco, funnily enough, he says. In the lower tier game, we would definitely see some T4 by this stage. A Russian monkey or a chicken would work at those levels. I don't know if it's the right choice here. And the strap bombers are coming in. They're going for the T3P gens. 3 bombs land, and my goodness, they got 3 T3P gens, completely took out the grid, and top is well in this game once again. That was a fantastic strike that did a lot of damage. It was completely worth it. Yudi is somehow not power storing, so good job to him. But that was expensive, and that'll definitely delay the air production. So top team will be able to secure the air superiority once more, and forcing the bottom team to build flak to take out these annoying T1 bombers coming out at 4 at a time. I wonder why 4 is the choice. But he is using them to take out T2 land. Not entirely clear what this land nonsense here is achieving, or what either of them are attempting to achieve. It feels like gunships from top team could deal with this land easily enough, considering they have air superiority, I think, although that could change at a moment's notice. Another thing these players need to worry about is a nuke at this point. That's definitely on the cards if someone wants to try it. If nothing else, it forces out an anti-nuke, possibly more than one, hey? Because these front bases are becoming quite sizable and might be worth a nuke. 3 T3 mexes and a whole lot of other paraphernalia. So this might be worth nuking, especially if you have a chance to hit a com as well. Harzer, I don't know if it's safe for you to be there. I would GTFO. Where's Boxer? As Boxer has done. You just don't get enough value from being so far forward this late with your comp being there compared to the risk of losing your comp. So again, that's more critique for players who are better than me, but that's what we do here. That's what I do here. Fuck this pillar in particular. So the air is once again lobbying to try and secure an advantage. So both players, I think, are quite clearly looking to win through airplay. A lot of sounds coming out from Yudi. So I think he's recognized that he's behind in air and doesn't like being strat bombed. We have a torpedo bomber being built, which is very questionable. Let's hope it's a misclick, because you don't want that. There is a slim chance he's hoping to torpedo a com hiding in water. But is this even water? And can you hide in it? I don't think so. So surely that's a misclick. Unless he's expecting comms to hide in this pool here, which is plausible. But I think he's realized he's bought a torpedo bomber. Because it's funny. Hey, we're going through with Perseus. Perseus are great. Perseus are perhaps one of the best things ever. There are too many Oblivions for this amount of Perseus, but not much can stop a Percy push. What I like to do with Perseus is obviously build all of them and then have Cougars, the T3 mobile AA, behind them. And there's very little an enemy player can do against a large quantity of Perseus. And Cougars, because that's what the T3 AA is called. And just by moving forward, you shoot stuff, you kill stuff, you take advantage, and if they try and hit you with air, the Cougars do some good work. If they try to hit you with land, the Perseus win. It's a very dangerous situation to be in if you're facing it. So Yudi is correctly ascertaining that an Ashwasher is likely. I don't know if this was scouted, indeed it hasn't, but he's got a game intuition to know this is the threat to manage. And you can do that sometimes when you understand the game well enough and especially your opponents well enough, that sometimes you can skip on scouting and you just have the intuition of what your players will do and the timing to do it and build the appropriate counters. Obviously, better to scout it, but sometimes life is hard. So I guess the way he's going to try and deal with the Ashwasher is to just kill it in one pass with his ASF. So he won't want to take an air engagement here for fear of not being able to win the air engagement. This Ashwasher is coming in to bomb Harzer. So I did like him being here, and I like him being here even less so. So the ASF are going to go in. Yudi's going to go in for the air fight. He's getting behind Box. There's a big fight now. They're committed. So Yudi has to win this air fight, or that Ashwasher is going to reign supreme. But they're tighting and turning. And Box is already throwing out the GG because he thinks he's lost his air fight. And he thinks he's lost it. And now I think he's lost it too. And this Ashwasher's days are numbered. It cannot hide. It will die immediately to this ASF. So well done to Yudi for recognizing and taking that air fight when he did. He got behind the airplay. And 1 second or 2 of Miss Micro and ASF changes this game entirely. They had a chance with this Ashwasher, but they have that chance no more. It is gone. They will be able to reclaim it. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But now you have to come back from this situation, and it's not looking pretty. They definitely need some SAMs now, or these ASF will be able to fly over the base forever. So what on earth is top team going to do now? They are on the back foot. They don't have air. They've got a ton of mass, so they have options. Titans coming out from Harzer. How are boxers Percy's doing? They're going to do some work, but this can be completely cleaned up. The sniper bots are actually in a very effective counter against Percy's. That's no joke, but not if they walk in range. But this group can be very easily now dispatched with gunships or strap bombers. Strap bombers more effectively because of the flak, or Restorer. The Restorers will be able to easily clear out this flak, and then they'll be able to whittle away the Percy's. And this is the unfortunate nature of having completely lost all the ASF. It's bad. They might think about going for a snipe just because of their position. Let's check on eco. They are. Box has an insane eco. I wonder where that's coming from. And Harzer is less. So eco-wise, the top team has, I want to say a huge advantage, but it's going to be because they're reclaiming this. So scratch everything that I said. It's hard to assess just how much T3 maxes everybody has. Yeah, that's going to be a bit too hard to assess right this minute, but they're going to have to come up with something smart to deploy this mass sensibly, or bad things are going to happen. So Hartzer's calling out strats. Box is making them. I keep wanting to call him Boxer, but he's not Boxer. His name is just Box. I wonder if he boxes. That doesn't seem important right now. But he is getting shot at a lot. So these gunships will chase these Percy's all the way down to the base here, and now this whole situation is going to be dismantled by these strap bombers, and I don't think there's much top team can do about it. You must have T3 AA to try and effectively deal with the strats, but they're just going to dismantle everything that they have. This is quite a turnaround in a while. Soon. Oh boy. So again behind with the ASF, Yudi playing this ASF situation very well, really microing and taking advantage of any mistakes that the top team presents them. Throwing Zuis, I guess trying to force a response. Somehow the situation is surviving, even though the bottom team has complete air superiority. They can dismantle this situation almost any way that they want. Maybe they don't want to fly strats over the SAMs. They could kill the SAMs, but maybe they're just choosing to avoid it. Nope, they are flying the strats over them, and they're going to die to the SAMs. It would have been better to have targeted the SAMs first, surely. But not much is going to save this base. Although I think these are poor trades. There are more fragile things to kill, more vulnerable things with these strats. And gunships coming in, right on top base's doorstep, so these guys are going to have to do something very sensible very fast. They don't have options now, I don't think. They have an SMD, but I can't think of anything that they can do at this late stage in the game to not lose. I think they must go in for a snipe of some variety, a teleport snipe, or just something. They're going to have to do something extremely risky. It looks like that see when transport his comm in? Because if they sit back now, they're just going to straight up lose. So if they win, it's going to be because they've done something extremely daring and gambling and sniped. Otherwise, bottom team, I think, almost guarantees wins. There's no answer for these Restorer. They have enough ASF, and they're just going to clean up everything here. If you have to build SAMs all over the base, that's such a mass commitment that there's not much you can do. This bottom has completely opened up for Shinobu and Harzer to claim. Although Box is still consistently pumping out Percy's and Flak. There are, I won't say a few Cougars, there are 2 Cougars. No, 3 Cougars. So yes, he's going Cougars, he needs them. But I worry that this just isn't enough. And there's no counter for snipers. These sniper bots will just take these guys apart at distance. They just need time. And there's just not much Box can do about this. Percy's are slow, and they can be almost like continuously Kited, more eco being lost for the top team to the Restorer. The Restorer have taken some damage, so it might be worthwhile considering repairing them, but I think at this point choosing to be aggressive is still the right call. Bottom team realizing that either they don't have an SMD or they're asking for an SMD. Yeah, the SMD is being placed. It is not loaded, but there is no nuke coming, or has it been scouted? As far as I can tell, there is no nuke coming. Yeah, so the teleporter is coming down for Espeperant. So this game is nearly over. Someone's gonna win. It's probably not the person teleporting. Box is here too, just because of how much of a gamble this is and how all in it is. Maybe they should teleport in together, but you must have someone to survive. So is there a tele defense? Is there a tele defense? I'm gonna go with yes. Yes, there is, sir. So if he wants to tele in, he has to kill Shinobu. He's gonna die, but can he kill Shinobu? I don't think so. Harzer is also close enough, but I don't think Harzer is the target now. You need something really majestic to happen at this point. So we'll see where he goes. We'll see what's going to be achieved. If I were a gambling man, my money is not on Espeperant. We even have a GC coming forward. And this is a good option for bottom team because they have air control. It would be the worst option for the top team because they'll just lose it to Restorer. But there's little that Box can do against this GC. He doesn't have enough Percies. They've just been taking too much pain from these snipers, and now these Percies support Yoda as well. Often, if you have enough Percies, you can very, very happily kill a GC effectively and then take the wreck. So choose. Why on earth is Yudi? Oh, he is not pleased about something, but I'm not sure what. Maybe Box has many more ASF than Shinobu expected, but I still don't know if it is enough. So big air fight. I have no idea who's going to win. I think it's going to be Yudi. There are too many Restorer here. They might not have the same air attack quality. Oh my goodness, Box turned tail, and you can't do that in an air fight like this. You're going to trade so inefficiently if you do. Some have escaped. I don't know if that was worth running away. I don't know. Maybe he knows, but you take so much damage on the retreat that... Yeah. It's usually once you commit to an air fight, you're all in. Box does have more ASF because he chose to run, but yeah, it's hard to know. Start Mavor, first Mavor of Team Matchmaker. So this is Team Matchmaker. I wasn't sure if this was or just a randomly hosted game, but no, they're going Mavor. And where is this teleporter? So still upgrading his comm. I'm going to watch this very carefully now. I don't want to miss a go in. So they're going Mavor. I think they have cheaper and easier options to win this. I don't think they need a Mavor to win this. A few GCs can clear all this up, and you maintain air. And yeah, I would, if I was the bottom team, I'd keep comm safe. Make GC, obviously keep air, and just strangle your opponent into this little corner. Okay, so what's happened? So everything's been given to Espeperant. It's not clear what Box is going to plan on doing. Haven't started teleporting yet. Is the spam doing anything? No, I said it wouldn't. Oof, big oof. It is binding my APM, Harzer says. So... Look, you didn't get Teleporter and Gunsplash to not do anything. So, do things. You know that meme where you poking the guy with a stick? Do things. Yeah, Espeperant, do things. You didn't come here to stand around all idle. So Box is going Raz. So Box is... I have no idea what he's planning to do here. Is he planning to take over when Espeperant dies after his teleport? Or are they going to choose not to teleport? Or when earth are they... At some point in these games, you just have to think like, how do you hope to win this? Because I don't see a way that they can. But they're staying in the game as good sports that they are. But teleport, like you got the upgrades for it. You did everything for it. Why are you? And I don't want to look away because I don't want to miss it. What's Box doing? So he's getting Raz for reasons which aren't clear. Because how lucky are we? He says. I don't know how lucky he is. Using T1 bombers to clear out the spam, which is a fine thing to do. These are a lot of zoos coming through. Lol. Zoos taking on the GC. With enough they'll win, but these restorers are going to be frustrating. If the ball of ASF come too close, they will be shot down. Still not teleported. Box has been defeated. Surely that's a control K or a quit. Surely you're going to teleport. Even... Yeah, Box has just given up. Which I... So the T1 spam's getting much further than it ought. But there's nothing to stop this GC. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I would just be using more GCs. They've got nothing to stop them. How's this Mabel situation? It's the game's gonna end before that. I don't know why he is so scary. You do. I don't know why he is so scary. I think scared of you. I think he means. Eggplant, what are you doing? Hurry up and teleport. Teleport or die. Teleport and die. Or don't teleport and die. 2 GCs. Yeah. Like they've got nothing to stop these. Nothing. The only way that Espeperant has a chance to win this is if he's somehow able to achieve air control again, but I don't see that happening. The GCs might cause game-winning damage, or game-ending damage, or maybe enough morale damage. Going in for the air fight, Espeperant I think was caught a little bit off guard that Yudi moved forward, but he is committed to the fight now, all on the ball of Restorer. How is this going to go? Let's get this turns in. You gotta turn. I'm pretty sure this was a very desperate move to try and win air. But even if you do win air, there's no answer for the GC. That's a teleport. That's a teleport. Okay, he went somewhere. Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go? I don't want to miss it. Like surely he would. He needs to kill Yudi, otherwise there's almost no point. Okay, we'll slow it down and figure out where he's going to go. Okay, he's not there anymore. Where did he go? Where did you go? Oh, he's just memeing. He's just memeing. So he's just dragging out the game a little bit longer because he knows it's lost. And you're playing hide and seek to win the game, to end the game, hide and seek, so that seems fine. A little bit of memeing, but we can turn the game speed up right up. I was really hoping it was going to teleport in. It wouldn't have worked. There's much too much PD defense here. Wait, I don't know why he teleported there first. So now he did teleport in. Oh, this is confusing. Okay, so let's slow this down and see him die in glory. Just taking shots to the face. Shinobu is there. And he died. What? Somehow Yudi died there too. I don't know how he got so much damage on Yudi. I think maybe he got attack missile on him. But it's irrelevant because it's a win for Harzer. So I don't know why he teleported there first. But I think he was getting I don't know how he did so much damage. I think he must have had a TML on his comm. We'll see. If you know, post in the comments below. So hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun casting. This was actually a very fun match. I really enjoyed it. It was very competitive, almost dry events at the end. The players were committed to the fight too. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.